Max, do you think Gallywix was killable week 1 if you were able to reach the boss? Okay, so that's kind of an interesting thought. So Gallywix and Mugsy's health was nerfed at the beginning of week 2. So are you asking if we could have killed Gallywix week 1 without the 8% health nerf with week 1 gear? Yes. Yes, I think we could have. So, but it would have been really hard though. Because I was thinking about doing it with week 2 gear, and the answer is definitely yes. Like, we could have killed that. We didn't have to optimize at all. We could have dropped a healer. We could have maybe even dropped 2 healers. We could have optimized so much. We didn't even begin to optimize. And just if you guys want to know what that means, because like just saying, oh, we didn't even get to optimize, you're kind of just like, well, what does that mean? You know, like what does that actually, what does optimizing look like? Like how powerful is optimizing? I think Ansurek kind of answered that question forever. If you watch the Nerebar Palace race, that should tell you everything about the level that is possible for our guilds to optimize. Because basically everyone, including very credible and knowledgeable Race World First casters, were saying that that boss was not killable with its current HP. And you saw us basically wipe to Enrage at 15%. And then over the course of the day, we found 15% boss health damage and killed it. And like basically, I don't think anyone, I'm going to be completely honest, including us, thought that we were capable of doing that. So yeah, on Gallywix, we could have got a lot more damage if needed. Max, do you think Blizzard should make him harder? Gallywix? Like after the fact? No, I mean, once you miss, you kind of just have to keep it at that. It was a colossal error, I'm pretty sure, on their part to make Gallywix as easy as it was. Because like an end boss, as hard as Ansurek was, it ended up being a very easy cutting edge. An end boss is kind of the one boss you can make completely insanely hard and then just simply nerf it before that matters, because it just takes a while to get there for most people. And also they released a video, which I still haven't watched. They released a video before the raid that like they collaborated with Preach, and they made like an official Race to World First, like here's like the history of the Race to World First, officially produced. You know, like you're going to want to watch this one. Like they literally put marketing and stock into what the Race to World First is, which if you've watched the Race to World First, what the Race to World First is watching people do the last boss. Like there's other parts of it, but like that's the thing, you know, that's when it's the best. And then to have it just end like that is, I've heard some speculation is like Blizzard did that on purpose. Bro, there's no fucking way. That was like a all hands on deck, red alert, what the fuck is happening situation at Blizzard HQ during that. Like that was, someone got some math wrong or something. It was a cool video to walk down memory lane. Yeah, I haven't seen it. Halandris and Anduin were cinema worthy. Halandris and Anduin just had so much going for them though. Like Halandris was like a really cool boss to watch, and it was obviously really hard. But also when we were killing Halandris and Anduin, that was when you guys were used to watching raids end. So like the two most recent raid endings before Jailer were Castle Nathria and Sanctum of Domination. Sanctum of Domination ended on the 6th day. That is when we killed Halandris. And Castle Nathria ended on the 8th day, and that is when we killed Anduin. So, like, basically where viewers were conditioned to see the hype ending of races, they know, like, some people tune in every day, but there are some viewers that know when to tune in to see, like, the big shit happen. And those two bosses happen to be great on their own, but they also happen to exist right at the end of when any normal raid would normally end. That's why you saw such a big fall off after that, because, like, Lords of Dread, people were like, oh, this is still going. And then like there was very little viewership. And then Rygalon happened. And then it was another like both Echo and Liquid are pulling low at the same time. And then there was like Echo 4 healed it and We 5 healed it. Like, and then you went to Jailer, right? And then what happened on Jailer? Viewership went to the core of the earth low until Jailer was about to die. No one watched it because it was like viewers just weren't used to watching a Race to World First that long. And it took until the boss was about to die for it to pop off again. Max, I'm sure you're aware of this, but you and Echo's total time in combat against Halandris up until the first kill was a difference of 5 minutes. Wait, up until the first kill, so up until we killed it? Average time in combat is kind of weird. It kind of depends on who gets to the boss first, right? Like, for example, our average time in combat, our time in combat on, like, Gallywix was a lot more than Echo's, right? But, like, our interaction with Gallywix and Echo's is completely different. But then sometimes we get to a boss, we both do a decent amount of fact-finding, have different strats-ish, and then, like, that ends up being, like, a stat you could look at.